So, but that's kind of it, right? These are all of the different charts you have. If you see a mix of green and red, it's usually like a bit, like a bit more choppy and indecisive, not the best place to jump in. If you see a really nice stack of red, that's where it's kind of like, okay, there's so much red here. Like, I mean, there is a green channel break recently, but man, there's so much red here that should I? I don't know. There's some overextension, and you start kind of just breaking these down like that. So if you ask like what I look for, that's really it. And now that you have 80 different alts to look through, you don't have to settle for something that's less than amazing. You find the
Right.
one
Yeah.
that has just a shitload of green and you go, okay, that's the one. And I'm going to protect myself with low leverage, or a proper entry. But low leverage is such a powerful ally. Too many people get burned because they don't have enough initial capital and they want to jump in, but they want to see bigger gains much faster, so they jump in at crazy leverage. And like, here's a great one. Like, look at FLOKI. This is what what the crazy green looks like. Overextension is becoming likely. But again, these ribbons are powerful, so you never want to long at a ribbon like this. You just doesn't matter. You might as well wait till it climbs above it and then long later when it's above the ribbon and it's clearly breached the ribbon.
Got
Then
it.
that's what I would do. So when you look at those, you find your token. I guess this is like the last thing that I think will be
Yeah.
powerful. You find
Yeah.
you find your token like FLOKI, and you go like, FLOKI looks amazing. I want to do FLOKI, I think. And that is where you go to the things that I have built out over here, which we talked about. Where is it?
The
The Flex Micros.
flex. The flex.
So
Okay. Yep.
once you have your token identified in the um, what do you call it, the alt scanners, that's where you can say, okay, I found one I'm really interested in. Now let me go see about making sure I don't do anything dumb. And that's where you can go get really granular on FLOKI in all the timeframes that matter for that entry, focusing on the 24-minute, these really crazy timeframes like the 3-minute, 12-minute, 30-minute. This is where you kind of get to see, like, is anything going against me? FLOKI looks pretty good over here on this bigger picture chart. It might be overextended. I guess it's been climbing for a while. Even the 3-week is overextended. So I do need to be really careful. But if I was going to do this, then I would literally go and I would look at the data here. And then there's going to be one show up here, which would be the skipping time frame. And I would look for that data. This kind of already over the past 24-minute candles times 3 looks like it might be slowing down. I would way
What's the
rather find an
difference
entry
between the
here.
two? They look like they're both 24. What's the difference between those two?
The boxes.
Yeah, they look like they're saying
So
24 and 24.
So I was talking about two things. These candles, you see that for almost
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour straight, we've been at a resistance. So I
Right.
want to see that resistance broken if I'm going to long. But right now, the less intelligent long is right here, and the more intelligent long is down here after a bit of resetting. Right, like this volatility cloud has held strong this whole time, so I like that. I like that the expansion dot is still there. Expansion monitor is saying, we're still full bullish, which is really great. There's only one missing. The 12-hour doesn't have expansion, but long appears to be the thing to do. Watch out for overextension. If you're gonna long, be very, be cautious, because this thing could pull back and fall back down to here probably pretty easily.
Right.
But if I'm gonna take a long, then again, I'm always gonna make it asymmetrical. And in this scenario, I'm gonna long at what I think is a reasonably intelligent entry. I'm gonna consider something like this as my long. And then I'm gonna ask myself, do I have enough room on the upside to really make that worth it? And so even here, I want to use my pressure lines. Oh, that's a great example of one where it just changed the game. Now I
Hit
changed my
it.
mind.
Hit it, right?
It's actually above it. So
Right.
I could do one of two things. I could look at it like, will this 24-minute go even further? And can I get a really nice tight long using that pressure line? And then maybe like see if I have any kind of logic for it to go up further. Like, do I think it could go up here?
Got it.
Is that possible? Is that possible? I don't know. Like maybe I could do
Right.
something like
Who
that.
knows?
And if there's a bullish retest on that pressure line, that would make sense. You can make it somewhat protectable by just using low leverage, right? And having a stop loss, like 3x leverage with a stop loss, you won't lose more than 4% of your money. So then it becomes like possible. With this overextension, it's more likely that that's not going to hold and that a better entry would be somewhere down here. So if I was going to set something up, I would look for something like that, or even I'd look at bigger time frames like this 1 hour. Oh, you can right click this, by the way, and you can sync it across the whole layout. So now it's on all charts. And you can say, okay, I like that one, but I really think that I need to look for a little bit more overextension. Which one do I want to use? Um, I I see that there is a pressure line here too. It must have been a previous all-time high or a previous, high. So let me move this down to that line and let's see what it looks like over here. I like it because on this 1 hour chart, that line coincides with this volatility cloud. And I don't know if I could really, it'd be awesome if it did, but I don't know if I could really count on it going all the way up to that, to that higher level where that other line was. But maybe this would actually be a decent entry. And so I would look something like this. And if I'm gonna have a 2 or 2.5 stop loss zone, then I have to ask myself, how much leverage do I really want? And so there the answer is like 1 or 2. And with 1 or 2x leverage, which is barely any, I get a 10 risk reward ratio. I get, again, let me pull up the pressure lines here. I get possibly a goal of 33% gain. And I would try to use this as the line, right? If I want to be really conservative, I'd have to bring it down and just say like, what if we just did something, a little closer? Do I think that that's possible? And as long as I have that risk reward ratio that's over, 6 or so, I think it's worth going after. But you see how it is currently retesting that pressure line and it could actually continue to move. It's highly likely with the overextension that that move comes back. So if it's just like that other one that we just shorted, if you did that, you would just want to protect it very quickly because the overextension says be cautious. All this yellow is here for a reason. Protect yourself, put a stop loss into play. That way you don't lose that much because we all know we could see a bit of a rubber band effect on this one. But if you're looking for a better entry, it would be down here with, logic in this area after a bit of a retrace. And I did a bit of